Next up at BlockDown, he worked as a financial broker for Rothschild and Mansion House Capital before funding the largest psychological health group in Asia. He took his experience in finance and psychology to create a blockchain health monitoring business, a financial prediction crypto, and NFT project. NFTs are the focus of his talk today. Please give a warm welcome to founder of Bundles Finance and Elevate Health, Simon Lewis. Welcome to BlockDown, Simon. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much. My name is Simon Lewis. I'm the founder of Bundles Finance, which is a blockchain project focused on prediction markets and NFTs. And the focus of what I'm going to talk about today is the NFT side of things. So as you just mentioned, I was a financial broker in the City of London till 2016. Following that, I founded a blockchain project called Elevate Health in 2017, which focuses upon measuring behavioral change in the health of people in an at-risk population. So essentially people who suffer from what is known as non-communicable diseases. So i.e. diseases that you don't catch from somebody, but essentially are caused as a result of your lifestyle. In 2020, last year, myself and my co-founder, Sid Boisian, founded Bundles Finance. Bundles Finance has a variety of interesting elements to it. It has prediction markets, it has NFTs, and also an NFT marketplace. So currently we're built on the Ethereum chain, but we've recently partnered with RSK, and we're deploying our prediction market pools on RSK this week. We're also partnered with a project called Judgment Finance, which is an NFT project launching later on this year. So what I'm going to look at today in regard to NFTs is what does the future hold? So currently, if you look at the general feeling around NFTs, the media portrayal of NFTs, and also most crypto enthusiasts' idea about NFTs, is essentially they've become a byword for digital art. Digital art actually represents around 90% of what NFTs are used for currently. If we think about why that may be, one of the first sort of things that was put forward that NFTs could be a use case for was for the authentication of ownership and that it's actually an original piece of art would be by an NFT. But actually, because it's a very burgeoning industry and a very entrepreneurial industry, oftentimes right now, digital arts are created as NFTs, and that's the sole use case. But what use cases will there be for NFTs going forward? Well, really, any unique asset can have its data represented in an NFT. So let's look at some potential use cases for that. So firstly, financial. So if you look from the 1980s until current, it's really been what I term the era of securitization. So the securitization of a lot of financial products. This caused the financial crisis in 2008, where one of the problems was the ability for the buyers of the credit swaps and credit default swaps to be able to actually see what the value of the underlying asset was. They were given a AAA rating, but it was very difficult for the owners of the debt to actually be able to verify this. And I'll come on to that a little bit later. So I think we've finished with the era of securitization. And I think now what we're going to see is an era of digitization. So let's look at a few products. So if we look at bonds, for example, they're not uniform in their returns or their data. So they have different coupon rates. They have different redemption rates. If we look at equities, and I would say this fits particularly with low cap equities, they have different, you have different levels of preference in shares. You have different rights. You have different voting rights. So all those things are different bits of data that you have within the equity, and that could be represented in an NFT. And then one thing where it's a very burgeoning industry, but in the insurance market, you have within an insurance policy, you have different levels of protection, you have different premiums, you have different levels of risk, you have policyholders who are of different age, different sex, and also it can act as a proof of insurance. So NFTs have a wide-ranging use case within the financial sector. Following on from there, if we look at property, if we go back to blockchain and crypto in 2017, this was already something that there were several projects looking to solve, but they were really looking to solve it from a title deed perspective. So if you could tokenize a property, then you'd be able to sell fractional ownership within that property. But actually, as every property is unique, the title deeds, it would make sense to store those within an NFT for easy transferability. Now, when we come to mortgages, and this comes back to what I was talking about earlier, each mortgage is slightly different. So they'll have different loan to values, they'll have different interest rates, they'll have different terms, they'll have different risk profiles. So if every mortgage is represented by an NFT in terms of the securitization of the digitization, it's possible for the people who are buying the debt to analyze much closer what it is that they're actually purchasing. So in fact, something like NFTs could have potentially solved the issues that caused the 2008 financial crisis. Now, another use case that has become very much more seen over the past 3 to 6 months, but actually has been around again since 2017, is in the gambling and gaming worlds. So there are already a lot of use cases for NFTs in virtual worlds. We have Decentraland, which launched several years ago. More recently, the Sandbox and Somnium Space. Within gaming, NFTs have also become popular recently, either representing the powers of particular characters or representing certain items that you can buy within a game. Now in gambling, I know prediction markets, which gambling falls within, is seen as a very strong use case for blockchain and crypto. Indeed, that's a key facet of the bundles ecosystem, but also gambling itself. When you make a bet, you're betting a different amount, you'll have different odds, and you'll have different gestation periods. So there's a couple of projects that are recently launched that are actually making a bet into an NFT. So where is it going to evolve from here? Well, ultimately, if you can make an NFT, out of a lot of these things, then ultimately everything will become a product. And from a financial, insurance, and property basis, information will become much more granular. Therefore, it's much easier to find data with regard to the particular product that you're buying. So I think over the past 24 months, the key evolution in the crypto space has been cross-chain capability. So that has been a huge factor over the past 12 to 24 months. I believe the next evolution is going to be in terms of data reach tokens. So essentially, these are tokens with the ability to hold much more data than is currently available. So one of the limitations around NFTs at the moment is their inability to efficiently hold a lot of data. I think another important evolution in the NFT journey will be platforms that have the ability to analyze and present the data within NFTs in a more intuitive manner. So in conclusion, I think we're very, very early in the NFT journey. It's still quite clunky and unintuitive to purchase NFTs, to sell NFTs, to transfer NFTs, and I think that's going to change. But I think the most important thing that's going to happen is we're constantly told about the future tokenization of assets. I think what is more likely to be the ultimate event is the non-fungible tokenization of assets. So I think at the moment we're limited in terms of the future because tokenization has become quite efficient. Non-fungible tokenization is still a little bit away, but if we give it 5 to 10 years, I think that's going to be what we're looking at. And Bundles wants to be a big part of that with its marketplace. So thank you very much for listening, everybody, and have a lovely day. Thank you.